What book did the sentence that made Mo Yin, the Nobel Prize-winning literary figure, ponder for 30 years come from? Imagine that in just 5 minutes, I will take you through 100 Years of Solitude and experience the legend and miracle written by Marquez. In the glorious history of the Nobel Prize in Literature, García Márquez stands out for the undisputed charm and power of his works. This famous book is resounding in the field of literature, but strangely, many people are familiar with it but have never read it page by page. Whether it is the complex characters who are disoriented or the cultural gap, only those who read carefully can deeply understand the underlying meaning and marvel at the endless plots. The story begins with the great adventure of the family founders, José Arcadio Buendía and Ursula, who escaped the curse of the old town and found the new village of Macondo. The family has experienced a variety of strange events, prophetic dreams, incredible inventions, and supernatural phenomena. The characters and fates of family members seem to be defined by the names they share, setting the context for the curse and fate derived from the family. As the family develops, Macondo is portrayed as a symbol of rise and fall, witnessing events such as war, love, betrayal, and political and economic changes. Each member of the family experiences loneliness in its own unique form, even if they live in such a close community. The novel is peppered with unforgettable images and moments. The laying of railroad tracks introduced contact with the outside world, resulting in exploitation by banana companies and strike massacres, civil strife and incest within the family, culminating in a foreboding baby. The birth of Pigtail marked the beginning of the end for the Buendía family. It adopts a non-linear narrative method, showing the cyclical nature of time and the repetitive nature of history. Marquez uses the techniques of magical realism to closely weave myth and reality in his novels, thereby exploring themes of identity, time, and memory. Eventually, the family's decline came to an end when the last descendant of the family deciphered the ancient prophetic parchment. The novel ends with a strong wind destroying Macondo and taking away the last trace of the Buendía family, leaving only the cycle of history and the irresistible loneliness. Their story unfolds amid the ups and downs of the world. Macondo has witnessed poverty, war, rise, and fall. When the seventh-generation children of the Buendía family were born with tails and withered in the mouths of ants, the sixth-generation Aureliano finally deciphered the prophetic family secret scroll. It is revealed in the volume that the first man sat withered under a tree, and in the end he was eaten by ants. The ruthless storm swept away Macondo, and the Buendía family seemed to have never survived. Under magical realism, Marquez cleverly reflects the vast history into the text. The strike in the banana plantation, the bloody train station, and the brutal massacre were actually ignored in the silence of the town. The reappearance of history has become a testimony of forgetfulness and numbness. The surviving buildings were destroyed by successive heavy rains, reflecting the indifference of the times to Macondo. Every lonely soul in the family is a microcosm of the times. The old Buendía's experiments, adventures, and encounters under the chestnut tree, as well as the return and lamentation of the second-generation Aureliano, all reflect the inevitable loneliness and tragedy in everyone's destiny. Criticism and satire are intertwined in the texture of the story. Marquez uses his unique writing style to explore the loneliness of human history and the helplessness of Latin America being devastated by external forces. The city in the final chapter seemed to have been completely wiped out by the hurricane at the moment Aureliano cracked the scroll. What is 100 Years of Solitude? Loneliness does not mean walking alone on the earth, but a majestic monologue in human history. So, we return to the opening statement that affected countless people, Aureliano's recollection when facing the firing squad. It is a meditation on irreversible time and a glimpse into the unknown destiny. No matter how the video describes it, it is never as shocking as experiencing the original work in person. In front of this immortal history, I encourage every reader to turn over the pages filled with loneliness and glory.